Good morning, everyone. You guys probably already saw the Bus Hero pages where actually our heroes are working and making up to $150 for assessing the technical qualification of our employer candidates. So perhaps this is a good opportunity to dive into the employer section where actually employers are able to view and review the assessments as well as schedule new assessments for our Bus Heroes to work off. As mentioned before, we work pretty much like Uber. So what happens is when employers schedule an actual assessment, the assessment gets dispatched to a queue of heroes, and from there, our system uses a deep HR tech that helps to schedule, run, as well as operationalize that particular assessment, so the employer can later on view it. So here we're gonna log into the Buzz Employer login pages. We're gonna log in with our demo account. In this case, Twitch's account. It's a demo, so most of the information here actually are mocked. However, for this demo purposes, you can actually see upon logging in, you can actually see the company name, obviously in this case Twitch, as well as you see three tabs. One is new interviews, second one is in progress, third one is completed. When you look at the new interviews, these are the interviews that the employer just added to the system. There's two ways the employer can add them in. One is through an email forward. And what that means is that an employer forwards an email from his domain with a resume to our system. Our system recognizes the particular domain and displays a candidate as long as a parsed resume just here. Notice the status is unassigned. So essentially that means that the bus hero in particular has not been assigned to this particular candidate yet. Our system, however, is working 24/7 in the background and does automatic assignments up to 4 hours. Someone is essentially gets assigned. Um, uh, Here we can obviously see a list of various candidates that are scheduled and assigned to be interviewed. The second, the second way the employer can actually add and schedule a particular interview is simply by uploading it from this particular simple screen where it selects the position you would like this candidate to be interviewed for, as well as there's an upload resume page, which allows to manually upload the resume without actually sending it to our system. The second tab is in progress assessments. These are the assessments that, as you notice, they've been assigned already to our BAS hero. In this case, there are different BAS heroes that are assigned to each of those candidates, but they have not been completed yet, meaning the BAS hero is still working on them or is in the process, or we are working on queuing particular BAS assessments before it gets dispatched to the employer. The third and final tab are completed assessments, and these assessments essentially already have the ratings as well as once again have a profile information about each hero. The most important part of this assessment, and that's what employees are paying us for currently, is the get feedback. So essentially here, the employer not only can see a quick summary of the assessments along with the star rating, but actually can go ahead and play back the assessment and then play back the actual session and see exactly what was going on. I'm going to click on Get Feedback. In this case, we see Ryan got a star 2 out of 5 BAS stars with a high summary of pros and cons. The next section is actually a resume section where we can learn just basic contact information as well as resume for that particular candidate. The third section is actually BAS hero information. So BAS hero is, once again, is the interviewer who actually evaluates from a technical perspective our candidates, the candidates that employers wants us to evaluate. In this case, there's a rating for this particular hero, as well as there is a short summary about him, what he does. In this case, this person works for, I see it works for Google, specializing in Google payments. So potentially that's why he was involved in this process, because the particular candidate had the payment information, and it was in consideration for the Twitch payment group. Here are the specific hero questions that hero was asking. These are the questions that typically our employers are providing, but we also have a prescriptive model where employers don't have to provide a question. We are suggesting those questions on their behalf. The simplicity of this interview feedback is such that essentially Notice there is a playback. So there's the particular sections here, section 1, section 2, section 3, as well as there's a question on top, as well as there are particular answer, the answers that the BAS here captured from the candidate, as well as code snippets. Or if employer wants to see in more detail this response, we just click on the playback button, where we actually is able to play back uh, the responses line by line, keystroke by keystroke of the actual candidate as he was typing the responses in, as he was compiling the code as visible on the right hand side. Um, this essentially is the BAS hero form, and we have also what's not maybe perhaps clear from the screen is also we have a dynamic interview engine, which allows you in a declarative way and manual declarative way, essentially through meta tags, allow us to dynamically add new sections or new questions, and each of them having anything from whiteboards, which works really great for product and sales assessments, as well as code, real-time code editors like this one in particular, which allows people to pair programming in parallel and actually record that session for later viewing of our employers. This concludes the presentation of the BAS Hero dashboard, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to perhaps show you the entire end-to-end flow, anywhere from a BAS hero to the BAS employer, down to actual experience of the sign-up experience of the BAS heroes when they're signing up. And I'm looking forward to do so in person. Thank you.